Hello, everybody. I'm Evan Kamiko, and this is The Toss-Up. Each week, join myself and an expert-line panel dissect the latest sports news from some of the nation's most elite college programs here in Bloomington to the biggest stadiums and stages around the world. This week, the biggest event of the NFL season, the Super Bowl, is finally here, and we are breaking everything down that you need to know. Stick around because we've got a great show coming up on The Toss-Up. That's fine. Oh, right. It is finally here, Super Bowl week. It is Super Bowl 56. So happy to be here. Later in the show, our IUSTV sports reporter Tyler Martin joins us live from LA at SoFi Stadium. But joining me right now to dive in on Super Bowl 56 between the Los Angeles Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals is our own Brett Smith, Anthony McLean, and Brianna Baylog. Welcome to the show.
How you doing?
Well, I mean, you're probably not too happy the Bills aren't here.
Oh, yeah. I am absolutely devastated that the Bills aren't here. But we have the Bengals versus the Rams, and I'm hyped.
All right, Anthony, I want to start off with you. Why are these two teams in the Super Bowl?
First things I want to say is good to be back. Good to be back.
Always good to have you here.
Oh, yeah, of course. But for the Bengals, first thing that I'll say is that high-powered offense. The passing attack of the Bengals is just unmatched. It's probably, definitely a top 10 offense in the league. And they are just good enough in the run game for it to complement them if they're not able to do what they want to do in the passing game. The Chiefs were actually had a really good scheme against Joe Burrow and that passing offense. And, they started to run the ball in the second half, and that's what really kept them in the game. So I would definitely say their offense is the reason why they're in the Super Bowl. Now for the Rams, they're that paper team. They have all these big names. They have all these big free agents that they've acquired here in 2021 in the 2022 season. And I'd definitely say that's also why they're in the Super Bowl.
So, Brianna, why can the Bengals win the Super Bowl?
I mean, they are an inexperienced team, and they have so many exciting new young players, but they have so much talent like Jamar Chase and obviously Joe Burrow, who, they want that Super Bowl so bad and then never had it. But I think the special teams might come into play and come in clutch at the end if it's a close game.
Mm-hmm. Brett, anything to add to that?
I definitely think it's the dynamic wide receiving core of the Bengals. I think Joe Burrow obviously has raised this team to a bar that they really didn't even think they could succeed. But the defense has stepped up immensely in the playoffs. And I've been really surprised to see kind of Eli Apple and that pass rush kind of develop in the playoffs. But overall, I definitely think Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase was definitely the best pickup in the draft for the Cincinnati Bengals, and I think overall for rookies. But I definitely was just surprised that the defense stepped up to the level that they did.
And not only that, but the offensive line too. If you look at it, that's a unit that isn't considered a top 10 unit in the NFL. You look at all these teams. The Rams have one of the top 10 units. The Bucs had a top 10 unit. The Chiefs, you name it, they had these top units. The Bengals didn't, and that's where they were able to get away with the passing game, with the mobility of Joe Burrow, because everybody questioned his knee. Flip it over to the other side. Matthew Stafford and the Rams. Anthony, why can the Rams win the Super Bowl?
The Rams can definitely win the Super Bowl, as I was saying earlier, with just these big paper names. You have Jalen Ramsey, you have Aaron Donald, you have Floyd, you have Von Miller now too, all on the defense. That's just the defense with names. And then, on the offense, they've acquired OBJ here in the middle of the season, and then they obviously have an MVP caliber player in Cooper Kupp. And then obviously Matthew Stafford has been pretty elite, and he's been that really quiet elite quarterback for years because he's been stuck in Detroit. So just the way that I think the Rams can beat the Bengals if they just overwhelm them with their talent, because they have a lot of it.
Brianna, where do you see that the Rams can beat the Bengals?
Well, obviously they're a very experienced team, and they have the best rush passing team in the NFL compared to the Bengals, who don't really have the best pass blocking team. And Joe Burrow is going to be going up against Von Miller and Aaron Donald, and it might be a long night for him. But I agree, and just they have so many stacked veterans on that team as well. I just think that's what it takes for them.
So, Brett, to you, what does it mean? Because a lot of these Rams were in the Super Bowl back in 2018, 2019.
Definitely, I feel like for Aaron Donald, this is going to be very personal for him. I mean, there's that really iconic clip of Aaron Donald trying to calm himself down in the Super Bowl. I think he's definitely going to be more composed, and he's going to have a great game, and especially Von Miller. I mean, he's Super Bowl MVP. He's an experienced guy. Odell Beckham, even though he hasn't been in that huge spotlight, he definitely has performed in these playoffs, and he's been an absolute great acquisition, especially since they lost Robert Woods. So overall, I feel like this team has really stepped up and really molded together because of Sean McVay. I mean, Sean McVay really has been one of the best coaches in the league, and he's really just proving it time and time again. But I think that coaching staff really has molded this team together, and just the risks that they've taken. They said, screw the picks. We're just going all in on the Super Bowl, and I think that's just that kind of method of their organization has really helped them out.
And it's a really interesting point you bring up. Both of these head coaches, Zach Taylor was on the Rams coaching staff at one point. Anthony, what difference do you see that making? Could that be the biggest thing that separates these two teams?
You just perfectly transitioned into what I was about to say, because that's what I was about to say. Zach Taylor definitely was under McVay and under his system, and now Taylor turns around, and in his second year, he's able to go to the Super Bowl and to the big dance, and he's about to face the guy that he was working under before that. Taylor's even older than McVay. McVay's 35 and Taylor's 38. So that age gap, I mean, there's not really an age gap between them. They're both really young QBs, and they're both, very gung-ho about getting that first Super Bowl. And McVay has a lot to prove since he's already been to the big dance and he wasn't able to, beat Bill Belichick and outcoach him. So I'd say there's definitely a lot of pressure on these coaches.
Brianna?
Yeah, I think you got two QBs who want it really bad. I mean, Stafford, he hasn't even seen an appearance, same with Joe Burrow. And I just think what it's really going to boil down to is turnovers and making plays at the right place at the right time, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Brett, what do you think the biggest difference will be between the two teams?
Whoever wins the line of scrimmage, I mean, that's what it's going to come down to, who can run the ball effectively. And it's an underrated thing in the Super Bowl. You always want to talk about the Cooper Kupps. You want to talk about the Jamar Chases. But Joe Mixon and Cam Akers, who is going to be able to run the ball effectively, control the time of possession, control the pace of the game. I feel like in the Super Bowl, we get all kind of mixed up, and obviously the two quarterbacks are going to be electric. That's going to be no doubt about it. But who's going to be able to win the line of scrimmage, especially when you have Aaron Donald and Von Miller on the other side, and also Cincinnati Bengals defensive line is studly too. So who's going to really step up and win the line of scrimmage?
To me, the biggest difference is these teams' secondaries. You look at the Rams and you look at their secondary with Eric Weddle and Jalen Ramsey. That's an established unit. And then you have the Bengals. It's Eli Apple, who was traded from the Giants, was traded from the Saints. He fills out with other complementary guys, but they've been able. The defense has done a great job at scheming, and they were able to limit Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce last time. But can they do it with guys like OBJ, Cooper Kupp, who understand how a defense works? At the base level, when they give an interview, they fire zone deep, the Cooper Kupp interview. So that's the biggest difference is these secondaries. Can they handle the pressure of facing top guys like these wide receivers that we're seeing?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
do think they can, and I particularly think you saw in the Kansas City Chiefs game. It took them a while to get into that in the second half, but I think once they got comfortable and they understood the scheme and they just trusted their coach, I feel like it'll take them a while to get comfortable in the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. They'll probably go down, and everyone will kind of give up on them 14-3. But I feel like this team, they're really resilient, and I feel like they can come back.
So let's ask the question. There's been so many good Super Bowls, so many bad Super Bowls. Is this going to be the best Super Bowl of all time, Brianna?
I think it's more of one of the most mismatched Super Bowls. Clearly, we didn't think the Bengals would make it. And the Rams, I think they were a good pick. And I mean, I kind of had them go all the way too. But I genuinely wouldn't say this is the best Super Bowl, though.
Anthony?
I'd say it has the potential to be one of them.
Small potential.
The smallest potential.
Is it going to be the Ice Bowl? Probably not. Is it going to be Atlanta Patriots? Probably not. Is it going to be Patriots Philly? Probably not. Is it going to be Cardinals Steelers? Probably not. But it has the potential to be a really, really good Super Bowl and hopefully a high-scoring Super Bowl because that's what everyone wants.
Right.
Brett?
I think this is going to be a grind of a Super Bowl. I really do think it's going to be kind of a close-scoring game, but overall, I don't think it's going to be the greatest Super Bowl of all time because, I mean, we have 56 other Super Bowls to pick from, and there's a lot of legendary ones. The Steelers versus Cardinals kind of comes to mind, Santonio Holmes catch. But I do really think this is going to be a great Super Bowl because even though people say these are mismatched teams, I think that it's closer than people think. There's obviously the mismatch on the offensive line and the defensive line, but I really do think this is going to be a close Super Bowl.
I think it has the potential. I think you're going to see more of that potentially, Falcons-Patriots style game or an Eagles-Patriots style game in the last couple of years. I don't think it's going to be like the Rams last time. I think, Stafford's going to come out firing. You're not facing Bill Belichick. This is Zach Taylor, one of Sean McVay's disciples. So at the end of the day, it's going to come down to whose offense has it more, and it has that potential to be this high-scoring, kind of like the Rams-Chiefs in 2017, one of the greatest games of all time. That was 51-54. That's kind of what I think the Super Bowl could be. It could end up being a shootout. I could be completely wrong. How many times on toss-up have I been wrong over the last year and a half? Too many to count. Yeah, I know. And I said the AFC South is the best division in football. All right, last question before we head to break. There's two guys on both of these teams, one each, that have been on these teams for so long and have been through so much. Stafford, been on the Lions for 11 years. No one wants to be stuck in Detroit. I mean, purgatory for 11 years. And then you flip on the other side. CJ Uzomah has been in Cincinnati through all of the struggles, been there since 2015. Who are you more happy for? Anthony, I want to start with you.
Stafford, easily. I mean, he was the guy in Detroit. He was their guy for many, many years, 13 years. And, out of all those years, he had so many good weapons coming in and out. He had Calvin Johnson, who was arguably the greatest wide receiver of all time. And he didn't get any postseason wins out of that. So I'm just happy for Stafford. I'm also, I like the Bulldogs too, because I'm partly from Georgia. So just in the heart, I'm rooting for Stafford a little bit. I won't be mad if they win.
Brianna.
Stafford, 100%. I think he's a great guy, and just through all the personal things that have happened in his life with his wife, Kelly, and I just think it's got to feel so good. You were on a team for 11, 12 seasons at obviously in trash, but and
Good
then
thing no one's
now,
Lions fans.
and then now he just got on the Rams and taking them to a Super Bowl in his first Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely am going with Stafford, mostly because the story is great. It's probably one of the greatest NFL stories we've ever seen. But I think the doubters that kind of he had when he was throwing interceptions, throwing pick six. At one point, he led the NFL in pick sixes, and they kind of started not believing him. And then he has this great playoff run. He beats the GOAT. Then he goes in. He faces the team that he lost to in the last. They actually got in because the 49ers got in because they beat the Rams. So I feel like that kind of mentality that Stafford's bringing into these playoffs just makes it that more entertaining. And all I want to see is him hoist that Lombardi Trophy. I really do, because that guy's been through so much in his career.
And all respect to CJ Uzomah, but the one thing I will say about Stafford is if they do not win, this is a disappointment for the Rams season, without a question. That's why I think, it's so great. You love the story, but there is so much pressure on Matthew Stafford to perform. And, we've seen it at times where he hasn't been able to perform. Will he be able to perform? What will our picks be? We don't know, but that's coming up because after the break, we're going to make predictions, and Tyler Martin joins us from Los Angeles. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Our own IUSCV sports reporter, Tyler Martin, is live from LA. Well, specifically, SoFi Stadium. Tyler, can you hear us?
Thank you, Evan. Man, that LA traffic, I hate it. We are now 2 days away from Super Bowl 56, and IU has two current Kelly School of Business students in the Super Bowl. Starting center Trey Hopkins and linebacker Jordan Evans of the Cincinnati Bengals are looking to earn their rings along with their Kelly MBAs. There are a total of 110 current and former players who are seeking an online Master of Science degree through the partnership of IU School of Business and the NFL Players Association. As two Hoosiers will be in the spotlight on Sunday, the venue where the game is being played is in the spotlight as well. Opening in September of 2020, SoFi Stadium in Englewood, California is one of the newest stadiums in the NFL. Costing between $5 and $6 billion to construct, the stadium includes a 70,000 person seating capacity, which is expandable to 100,000. 260 luxury suites, a 6,000 seat performance venue, a 2.5-acre outdoor plaza, and a one-of-a-kind dual-sided elliptical video board. The fans attending will have a great experience. I have the Bengals winning by 3 with Evan McPherson kicking another game-winning field goal. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Tyler. Here we go. It's time to make some predictions, but we're going to go a bit out of order. Usually we stick for the biggest one to last, but let's go with the big one first. Anthony, who do you got winning Super Bowl 56?
Give me the Bengals. Give me the Bengals, and I'll tell you why.
You're getting gritty for us at least?
I can. I mean, I will. So, if they win. So, Zach Taylor, I think he's got some tricks up his sleeves, man, because he knows how McVay thinks. And him being under McVay and being under the same coaching staff as him and kind of having very similar offensive minds is a huge advantage for the Bengals coming in. Because, you know, the Bengals could have a really bad matchup, like with Tampa, you know, or a bad matchup with San Fran, because San Fran played really physical against the Bengals earlier in the season, and they beat them at their house. So I think this is actually probably one of the best case scenarios for the Bengals in matchups for an NFC team that they would have to face. So give me the Bengals.
Brianna.
Well, logic-wise, I want to say the Rams, but I do kind of want the Bengals just because, I mean, obviously they haven't won a Super Bowl and haven't appeared in like how many years since the 80s, so I think I'm going to go with the Bengals.
You go with the Bengals, Brett?
I'm going with the Rams. I just think the talent and obviously the defensive line, they have Von Miller and Aaron Donald. It's obviously, you know, the obvious pick. They're obviously the favorites, but I just think logistically with Sean McVay and him being there before and how personal this is for him, because in that press conference, he said he got outcoached by Bill Belichick. I don't think he wants to get outcoached by Zach Taylor. So he's going to definitely come in hot. I definitely kind of rely on Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford, so I'm going with Matthew Stafford.
I've been confused all week on this pick. You love this. I love the story with the Bengals, but in preseason I said it was going to be the Rams. So we're gonna.
Oh
so instead of my pick, I'm gonna just put the jersey on. Do I feel it?
Don't leave me hanging.
I don't
Don't
know.
leave me hanging.
I don't know.
Yes!
Okay.
There we go.
Whoa! Let's go.
We're going Cincinnati. It's winning the Super Bowl.
Nice.
I think it's a great story. I think Joe Burrow's got it. He's got everything that we want. I hope my mic doesn't go away for this. No, it's still there. That's my
Nice.
Super Bowl pick. We're going Bengals. I mean, how can you not love the story? How can you not love everything about them? Did I want to go with the Rams? I did, but could I? I just don't think I could. You know, you love an underdog story.
You honestly had me there. You
I
honestly picked
I
me.
had myself. I didn't know what I was
literally
gonna do. I was
thought
like,
you
oh,
were
this is
gonna
gonna look.
pick with me, but no, you left me hanging. You know what? When I ended up being the smartest person on this panel, that's what it's going to come down to.
All right. Well, the only time will tell on that. Anthony's looking over there. He's not happy about that.
Hey, man. I think I got a hunch. I just have a hunch.
All right, let's move on. We have our Super Bowl picks. Let's talk MVP. Brianna, who's going to be your Super Bowl MVP?
I'm going to go Joe Burrow, obviously, just because, I mean, he's done so well this season, and even if they do win the Super Bowl, I mean, how can you not?
Anthony.
Hot take, give me Trey Hendrickson.
I like that take.
I think Trey
Okay.
Hendrickson is going to have a huge game, and I think he's going to have his way with those tackles because he's been having a very quiet, dominant season as a pass rusher, and he's going to be the X factor for the Bengals defense.
Brett, who's your Rams Super Bowl MVP?
Give me Cooper Kupp. I think he's just
That's
going to have an
solid.
unbelievable performance. He's been consistent the whole entire season, even throughout the playoffs. I think he's going to have an above 100 receiving yards, and I think he's going to have 2 TDs.
All right, I'm going Jamar Chase. I'm wearing the
Yeah.
Burrow jersey, but you said Burrow already, so I don't
Yeah.
want to repeat it. If I was going to pick the Rams, which I remind everyone at home, my original Super Bowl picks that I've made since the day one of the season have been the Los Angeles Rams. I literally just switched it as I was picking the jersey. So I'm going to go with Jamar Chase. I think he has a really good game. I think that he finds the soft spots in the zone. You know, LA's a team that they play zone a lot, but you know that Ramsey's going to be right on him. I think he gets the best of him. I think that it's the fresh legs. It's the inexperience. That's going to be his most valuable asset because he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't have expectations for the Super Bowl. So I'm going to go Jamar Chase, 200 plus yards, 2 touchdowns. That's going to be my stat line. Let's look at some other things that people make predictions for because there's so many crazy things that you can bet on with the Super Bowl. Anthony, do you think the coin toss, heads or tails?
So
'Cause
in
tails never fails, but
True.
tails might fail.
True. I think Tails is going to fail because it didn't fail in the AFC Championship, and that was the last game that was played. I definitely think it's going to be heads, at least for the beginning of the game. If it's overtime, then I got tails. So heads beginning of the game, overtime, tails.
I got to go with heads, too. I agree with Anthony. I mean, like literally what he said, the same thing from the AFC game. I think from the beginning, too, that it's going to be solid for heads.
Heads or tails, Brett?
This is personal for me because any coin toss from now on is just going to be living in my head about the Bills and Chiefs. I mean, Josh Allen chose tails, so I'm just going to go with heads because, 50-50 chance, but my God. Don't show me a coin toss anymore.
Being that everyone went tails, I'm going to go – actually, everyone went heads.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with tails. Honestly, I don't have a coin on me. Otherwise, I'd flip a coin right here and be like, that's my coin toss.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go tails. Tails never fails. We're sticking with it. The national anthem, another big one. Some years it's, a minute and a half. I think one year, a couple years ago, it was like 3 minutes long. I'll set the over-under at 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Brett, over or under?
I'm going to go with under. I think it's going to go a minute 50.
A minute 50. That's precise.
I don't think we're going to be, going for long notes or anything like that. I think she's just going to get through it. So,
Brianna?
I'm going to go a little over with 220. I feel like that's kind of like a safe spot.
That's not a bad pick.
Yeah.
Anthony?
I got a minute 56 over. And Mackie Guyton is a country singer, and she's known as the national anthem girl. So I think she's going to take her time. So I'm definitely going over.
I like the over too. I would say 220. I like that pick. I can't disagree with it. Usually a Super Bowl last, it's the national anthem. You want to show off. Another fun prop that people do. Gatorade color on the winning coach. What color is it going to be, Brett? You can go first.
lime green, the OG flavor. I'm just going with that right now. I just think it's going to be lime green. They got to go with the original. They got to get hydrated. So I'm going with that lime green.
Brianna?
Okay. I'm going to go, I think it's glacier blue. Kind of like that, I feel like that's a good choice.
Like
to go
cool
for.
glacier
yeah,
blue?
Like the
Yeah, I
cool
like that.
Yeah.
That's a good one, Anthony.
Hey, since I picked the Bengals to win, I'm going orange. I'm going orange. It's going to be orange Gatorade, and it's going to be poured on Zach Taylor at the end of the game. I'm calling it right now.
I'm going to go, I really like orange too, but I'll say red Gatorade. I don't want to, I feel like my answers have matched all of your answers so far. So I'll go with the red Gatorade. I think that gets poured. But before we go, one last thing. What are you guys most looking forward to with this Super Bowl? Anthony, I want to start with you.
The passing game. You got to be kidding me. Jamar Chase versus Jalen Ramsey, and then you got Eli Apple trying to guard Cooper Kupp. That's what I'm going to be watching the whole game, is just the passing game.
Brianna.
I'm excited to see how just Matthew Stafford and Joe Burrow do. I'm really anxious to see kind of who comes out firing and I'm sure they both are, but I'm just really anxious to see how those two play.
And Brett, but before we gotta put this on somehow. You don't have to go. You just
I was putting it right here.
You're just gonna wear it like a blanket.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear it like a blanket. But I'm most excited to see how OBJ performs in this moment. I'm gonna see what touchdown celebrations does he do. But I'm excited to see the wide receivers perform. Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp, OBJ, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. Those are 5 great wide receivers. So I'm totally gonna be looking for OBJ.
I'm just excited that it's going to be a packed house at SoFi Stadium. That's something we haven't seen since 2019. It's a quarterback who's deserved it for so long versus arguably a quarterback who's going to be the face of the NFL. There are so many good storylines. So Anthony, Brianna, Brett, thank you so much for joining the show. That's going to do it for the show this week. Be sure to continue the discussion and follow us on Instagram at IUSTV Sports and on Twitter at IUSTV Sports. With that, there's one thing left to do. Let me grab my football. So toss it up, find out if we'll catch it, and we'll see you next week. Oh, right.